that I have a celebrity crush on.
Aw.
She's with the Afford Anything podcast, and I totally admire and look up to you. So I really appreciate you speaking with me.
Thank you.
And to my audience.
Thank you.
So I'm going to explain a little bit about who you are.
Okay.
In case you guys don't know, Paula she has become financially independent through various methods, mostly real estate. Is
Yes.
that right?
Mm-hmm.
And right now she lives in Vegas, and she has a cat, two cats?
Two cats.
Two cats.
And a turtle and a frog.
Oh my god, that's awesome. And she is from Nepal.
Mm-hmm.
So Nepal is the first place in Asia that I traveled to out of the country, or to Asia. And I fell in love with the culture and have since been back and gone to India and done more traveling around Southeast Asia and kind of smart like traveling, which I know Paula also likes to do. So one thing is there anything else you'd like to add?
Oh, that's pretty comprehensive. What else can I say? I also have a lot of houseplants in addition to the cats and turtle and frog. Tons of houseplants. It's like a greenhouse in there.
So what I would like to talk to you about today is money mindset.
Okay.
Because I'm a financial coach and I work a lot with people who have self-doubt and self-confidence issues around money and life in general. And I've worked myself through a lot of these issues, going through a lot of self-development and self-analysis and all of this stuff. Oh, and one more thing too is that I also met Paula at WDS.
Yes.
Yeah.
The World Domination Summit.
World Domination
which,
Summit.
Despite the name, is not something that they referenced on Pinky and the Brain.
No, yeah, definitely not.
Not yet.
Yeah, world domination, but yeah. So both of us are about world domination. But that was really fun, and I got to watch her speak on stage as a keynote speaker at WDS, and that was really special. So, yeah, and that's when she's talked about Nepal and being a woman of color, and in this world of finance, first of all, being a woman, and then coming from another culture and going through all of that. And I really respect your journey through that, and your ability to stay strong and be independent and do it.
Thank you. Thank you.
About the money mindset stuff, I wanted to know if there was anything that you experienced as a hardship in terms of money, or where you started at with your money mindset.
So mentally, I very much had scarcity mindset. And what I mean by that is that I had a lot of self-doubt about my own ability to make money. I graduated with a liberal arts degree from a public state school. There was nothing that differentiated me from the thousands of people with an undergrad in sociology, as I have, that would allow me to ever think that I could make good money, right? I wasn't an engineer, I wasn't an accountant, I wasn't gonna go to med school. And so out of college, I had this big scarcity mindset where I felt like, okay, the only way that I can ever get ahead with money is only by saving. And that really turned me into, saving is great. I'm a big believer in saving as much as 50% of your income, which a lot of people would find extreme.
Yes.
But there's a difference between saving a serious amount of your income while you have an abundance mindset and the confidence of knowing that you can and will earn more, versus having a serious savings rate because you deep down believe that you just don't have the ability to make money. And so you have to save because it's your only option. You might have two actions that on the surface look identical, which is X savings rate, but it's the mindset behind them that denote the difference between healthy versus not.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Thank you.
That's gold right there.
Oh, thank you.
Was there a moment in your life, like a transition moment, when you realized that? When you were able to kind of get that out so succinctly?
I think that, so the proof is in the pudding. My first job out of college, I was a newspaper reporter. My starting salary was $21,000 per year. That was in 2005. And I stayed at that newspaper for 3 years. And at the time that I quit, my salary was $31,000. That was in 2008. So, and since then I haven't been employed by an employer. So that was the highest amount of money that I ever made at paid salary W-2 income. And I decided that I was going to go off on my own and become a freelance writer. And in the beginning, I was making almost nothing. I remember when I got my first client, my first recurring client who paid $800 a month, I was so thrilled. You would have thought that it was $8 million a month for how excited I was, because that was proof that I could actually do this. And $800 a month, that's like that could pay my rent, right? Like, I was doing it at a level well enough to be able to do that. And so that was amazing. And but it wasn't until, like, I never believed that I could do it until I did it. So it wasn't until my freelance work escalated to the point where I was making six figures that I believed that I was the type of person who could make six figures. In fact, my belief in myself was really trailed my actual performance. So the first month that my first 5-figure month, the first month that I made more than 10,000 in a single month, I thought it was a fluke. And then it happened again, and then it happened again, and then eventually it happened enough that my beliefs started to catch up to the reality that I had already achieved. And I've seen, for me at least, I don't know if this is true of everyone, but I've seen that happen throughout my life, where my belief in myself is a trailing reflection of what I've done. So take the action first, and eventually your self-confidence will catch up with what you have achieved.
Yeah. Wow, that is so real. Like, that is so real. I know that when I've done things and I look back on it, I almost look back in disbelief.
Right.
Like, that was me, like I did that. And so I actually have an interesting thing that happened. I'm a physical therapist in my other life. And I have a patient right now who experiences knee pain, but she doesn't have a physical limitation with it. Like, she could bend her knee, physically she can, but she doesn't want to. It makes her feel like the feeling is so uneasy. It feels like her leg is going to fall off. It's a processing problem. But recently we had a breakthrough where she was able to bend her knee. But the way it happened was she had to close her eyes. She could not watch herself do it. It was like she said she can do it as long as she doesn't know it's not her that's doing it. She said closing her eyes made her feel that it wasn't her that was doing it. So interesting that we don't necessarily always believe in ourselves, even when the evidence is right there in front of us.
Wow, you know, when I was 12, when I was in the 6th grade, I had a processing problem in which I couldn't bend my knee. Seriously, so I had dislocated my patella. I dislocated my left.
Here I have you sitting in this like
Yeah.
position. Do you want to sit?
No, I'm good. Yeah, I dislocated my patella, and I was in a splint, like a straight leg splint, for 6 weeks. And when I got out of that, because I hadn't bent my knee in 6 weeks, I had forgotten how to bend my knee. So I went to physical therapy, and my physical therapist checked me out, and they were like, there's no physical reason why you can't bend your knee. It's all mental. And I was like, I hear you say that, but I can't bend my knee. And so I went back to physical therapy. It was like 3 times a week. And I remember the moment that I did it. I was on a stationary bike, and they'd adjusted it such that I could basically pedal on the stationary bike, basically with like, I was basically going, like, keeping my legs straight, almost trying to do a full, and I remember the moment that I bent my knee enough that I could do like a full rotate, and that was the moment that I bent my knee for the first time, after many, many, many months of not doing it. So it was funny that you told that story, because
crazy.
I once had a mental processing issue in which I couldn't bend my knee when I was 12 years old.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Seriously.
But yeah. Okay. So money mindset
and bending your knee. Yeah.
That is kind of the gist of what I wanted to talk about today.
Nice.
Yeah. And I feel like we really got there.
Nice.
Yeah. Wow. The only other thing I wanted to ask you was where you see yourself in a year from now, in 5 to 10 years. Where are we going to find Paula?
I would like to grow Afford Anything to be bigger. So I want to be doing the same thing that I'm doing now, but bigger.
Yeah.
So So yeah, my goal is that affordanything.com and the Afford Anything podcast, which is where you can find me. I want to keep growing that and bring the audience in and grow the community and really.
When you say bigger, do you mean like just more reach, or do you want to do like events or more speaking or creating programs?
So we're launching our first a course. It's called Your First Rental Property.
Yes.
So that we're going to be launching that in 2019.
That's right, and I know you're working so hard on that. So if you're interested in doing rental property, you got to check out Paula's course.
So other than that, I just want to keep growing our reach, growing the community, because it's all about the community that's there.
Well, I think that's a wrap.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you so much. That was